Can embracing the darkest parts of who you are actually make you successful? What if your shadow, your so-called flaws, are the very keys to unlocking your greatest potential? Listen, we've all got a side of us that we keep locked up, hidden away, the part we're maybe even a little afraid of. But what if I told you that the dark side you've been avoiding might be the missing piece to finding real success? Today, we're talking about embracing the side of yourself that no one likes to talk about, and why that's the path to real, undeniable greatness. Society teaches us that success only comes when we're positive, kind, flawless, the picture-perfect version of ourselves. And hey, I'm all about positivity. But what happens when we start believing that our imperfections are barriers rather than stepping stones? We're told to avoid feelings of anger, fear, envy, like they're some disease. But here's the truth. Denying those parts doesn't make them go away. It just makes them stronger in the shadows, affecting everything you do, even if you're not aware of it. This belief keeps us small. It keeps us from tapping into our full power. It's like trying to run a race with weights tied to your legs. The problem isn't the anger, the fear, the envy. It's that we don't know how to use them. And that, my friends, is what separates those who are merely successful from those who are unstoppable. So how do we make this shift? First, we recognize that every emotion, every so-called dark trait has a purpose. It's a form of energy, raw and powerful, waiting to be transformed. When you take anger, for example, and channel it, it can become fuel for resilience. That fear, it can become the adrenaline you need to stay sharp, to stay aware. Even jealousy, as much as people despise admitting to it, can be the push that gets you to level up. These feelings, these dark traits, they aren't wrong. They're just raw. And raw power is what fuels the most impactful, authentic success. Here's the deal. Acknowledging these traits doesn't mean letting them control you. It means you own them. You harness them. When you learn to make them part of your arsenal, you're no longer living a life dictated by fear or perfectionism. You're living a life powered by self-mastery. Let me tell you about someone who did just this. The incredible story of Steve Jobs. Now, Steve had this relentless side to him, one that some people didn't understand. He was intense, he was demanding, and yes, he often saw things through a lens of criticism. But he didn't try to change this, he honed it. He used that intensity, that unfiltered passion, to push boundaries, to demand the best from himself and others. He transformed what some people might see as his dark side into a gift that made him one of the most innovative minds in history. Look, it's not about copying someone else's path. It's about realizing that your potential lies in owning all of you, even the parts you might want to ignore. When you integrate these parts, you're no longer at war with yourself. You become unstoppable. You're not worried about approval. You're driven by purpose. So here's the big takeaway. Real success isn't about being perfect. It's about embracing all of who you are, your light, your darkness, all of it. Because that's what gives you depth, resilience, and the power to break through any limit. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me, what's one dark trait that you think could become your strength? And if you're ready to dive deeper into personal growth, check out the next video on unlocking your potential. Let's do this. Let's build that unstoppable mindset together.